Hello everyone and welcome to another video. Now I should state right away that when I come to resell this graphics card I won't try and mislabel it as an official product. I don't want to upset Bethesda's likely large team of lawyers. Just on my way to jail for copyright infringement, that's right. I'm dangerous, stand back. I actually bought this at a car boot sale and it was custom made by the individual who was selling it. Designed to imitate the Skyrim logo, or part of it anyway, this was a gift for a Skyrim obsessed daughter who had since upgraded her PC hardware. It's obvious just by looking at the display outputs that this thing probably can't handle the re-release of the ever popular title, but we'll get onto that in a minute. First though, let's figure out what this graphics card is. After a thorough 3 seconds of research conducted by turning the card over, I discovered that this now unique NVIDIA GPU is a 9600 GT Alpha Dog Edition. Aimed at mid-range audiences and launched in 2008, this version was quite well reviewed in part thanks to its factory overclock. But can this Skyrim themed graphics card actually run the game? Well, because the original Skyrim, the one that also came to PS3 and 360, was based on DirectX 9, it runs on this DX10 card really well. There are plenty of occasions where the game maxes out at 75 FPS to match my monitor's refresh rate, though even when that isn't possible there aren't many drops below 60. The original Skyrim is still very much worth playing if you have weaker hardware because aside from the fancier graphics of the new release you aren't missing anything important, and there are of course thousands of mods to choose from that can not only enhance your gameplay experience but the visual experience too. Now maybe installing graphical mods isn't a good idea with this graphics card, but there you go. Even though 1080p low is the best way to play, video settings wise you can get a 7th generation console-like experience by choosing the high preset, which will still guarantee you a 30 FPS plus average. It looks like this Skyrim themed graphics card is certainly capable of handling the game that it was customised around. The top of the heatsink assembly actually just unscrews without the need to remove the whole thing, so this would have been pretty easy to paint, I imagine. Although adding custom decals won't improve performance, it may make that tired old graphics card look a bit better. So the 9600 GT, what else can it do? Despite the decent performance in Skyrim, you may be surprised to learn that in CSGO, which relies heavily on CPU power, well, we don't actually get a very playable experience. Maintaining even a 30 FPS plus average wasn't really possible at 1080p, and while 720p will improve things, there are still some serious issues. Leave it to Grand Theft Auto 5 to redeem this GPU then. As an older game it still supports DX10, though I do wonder if this support will eventually get patched out when the upgraded version releases. I think that happened to Fortnite. I don't think it will, but it's good to know that at the time of this video the game will run with around 50 FPS at 720p, with the settings turned all the way down. This is a similar visual experience to the game on 360 and PlayStation 3, though performance here is of course better. If you want to experience GTA 5 at 1080p on something like this, then I'm afraid a sub 30 FPS average is to be expected, though there are occasions when the frame rate jumps above this, but it's not a terrible experience overall. At least the average frame rate is closer to 30 than it is to 20. The truth is I knew this card wouldn't be very good as soon as I laid my eyes on it, but it was the design that appealed to me and the backstory behind it. It made someone very happy for a long time despite its obsolete status. I guess a graphics card is only obsolete once it can't play the games that you want to play anymore, and if it can, well, then it's still very much relevant. Now I don't have a kid to pass this down to, like the man at the boot sale. I have a dog, but he isn't a fan of Skyrim, not enough squirrels. Whoever the next owner is though, well I hope they enjoy it and they get some usage out of it. That's all there is to this video, to be honest. This has been a look at the Skyrim graphics card that really has nothing to do with Bethesda or Skyrim at all. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, leave a like on it down below. Leave a dislike if you didn't. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already, and hopefully I'll see all of you in the next one.